Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into a story that is so painfully, so hilariously relatable, especially if you've ever tried to get ready for a trip. It's a classic for a reason, a tale of travel woe, spectacular incompetence, and the pure, unadulterated chaos of packing. Seriously, think about it. What's the most stressful part of any trip you've ever taken? Is it the flight, finding your hotel, or is it that moment before you even leave your house? You know the one. You're just staring at a totally empty suitcase and a mountain of stuff you somehow have to fit inside it. Well, for our narrator today, this is exactly where the real adventure begins. So meet our narrator. He doesn't just think he's pretty good at packing. Oh no, he believes he is the greatest packer to ever live. Now, you're going to want to hang on to that little piece of information, that supreme confidence, because it is the perfect setup for the absolute disaster that is about to unfold. Okay, so here we are at stage one. Our narrator, just bursting with this misplaced confidence, tells his friends, George and Harris, that he's got this. He's going to handle the packing. He's picturing himself as the boss, the supervisor, the master of the suitcase. But his friends, well, they react in a way he really did not see coming. So in his mind, he had this grand vision, right? He'd be in charge, he'd teach his clueless friends the art of packing. But the reality? It was a little different. George and Harris just immediately kick back, get comfortable, and watch him. They totally call his bluff with this weirdly enthusiastic agreement, leaving him to do every last bit of the work himself while he just quietly seethes. After what feels like forever, he does it. I mean, he rustles every single item into that bag, he has to sit on it to get it closed, and finally, he gets it strapped shut. Ah, victory. A moment of pure triumph. The hard part is totally over, right? And then this. This one, perfectly timed, soul-crushing question from Harris, who has been doing nothing but watching him this whole time. Of course, he waited until the bag was completely strapped and sealed. He forgot the boots, the one thing you really can't go without. And that right there is where the unraveling begins. So after he finally gets the boots packed, another, even more terrifying thought hits him. It's about a tiny little object, but one that has this huge psychological power over him. And so begins the toothbrush ordeal, a nightmare that I think every single traveler has lived through at some point. You see, for our narrator, his toothbrush basically haunts his life. He is stuck in this absolutely manic cycle that happens on every trip. He dreams he forgot it, he wakes up in a panic to look for it, then he packs it before he's even used it, which means he has to unpack everything to get it out again, only to repack and somehow forget it anyway. So when that familiar, dreaded question pops into his head, did I pack the toothbrush? He knows what he has to do. He has to tear everything apart again. So he literally turns every single thing out of the bag. He makes a mountain of chaos, shaking every item. He finds George's and Harris's toothbrushes about 18 times over, but never his own. And where does he finally find it? You guessed it, inside one of the boots he had just packed. So he repacks again. Okay, so the main bag is finally done. And our narrator is just wiped, so he sits back. Now it's George and Harris's turn to pack the food hampers. And they come at it with this, light, cheerful energy, like they're going to show him how it's really done. The narrator, he just waits. He knows things are about to get exciting. And oh, does it descend. This is not a packing attempt. This is a work of art, a symphony of destruction. They start by breaking a cup just to get warmed up. Then they squash a tomato with a pot of jam and have to try and scoop the tomato out with a teaspoon. George steps in the butter. They put the pies at the bottom and then pile heavy things on top, smashing them to bits. And for the grand finale, they spill salt over everything. The whole time, our narrator just sits and watches, which only makes them more irritated and even clumsier.
But amid all of this chaos, one item rises above the rest. It takes center stage. A single pat of butter that goes on this incredible, mysterious journey all around the room, leading to what is basically a full-blown investigation by our two clueless packers.
Okay, let's just follow the evidence here. First, George scrapes the butter off his slipper. Then they try to shove it into a kettle. It won't go, so they get it out and just leave it on a chair. Naturally, Harris sits on it. Then they spend forever looking all over the room for this missing butter, totally baffled, while it's literally stuck to the back of Harris the whole time. George finally spots it, and where do they end up packing it? In the teapot, of course. And what's amazing is their total lack of self-awareness. As they're standing there in the middle of the room, looking for this butter, they are genuinely mystified. They can't figure out where it could have possibly gone. Their conclusion? It's just an extraordinary and mysterious event that has nothing to do with them. Just when you think things cannot possibly get any more chaotic, you're wrong. The final character makes his grand entrance. Montmorency the dog arrives on the scene not to calm things down, but to fulfill his life's greatest ambition, to get in the way and make everything so much worse. Montmorency is not a spectator. He's an active participant. He's an agent of chaos. He believes his cold, wet nose is always needed. He sticks his leg in the jam. He starts worrying the teaspoons, basically chewing them up. Then, in a spectacular moment, he decides that the lemons are rats and it's his duty to destroy them. He gets inside the hamper and manages to kill 3 of them before Harris has to fend him off with a frying pan. So after all of that, the pride, the boots, the toothbrush, the butter, the dog, they are finally done. The packing is finished. The time on the clock? 10 minutes to 1 in the morning. They are completely exhausted, surrounded by the wreckage of their efforts, and they still have to wake up in just a few hours to start their trip. And this brings us to a final thought. As we're laughing at this complete and utter disaster, it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? Is this kind of pre-trip chaos not just an obstacle to overcome, but an essential, unforgettable part of the journey itself? Maybe the real stories aren't just from the destination, but from that hilarious, frustrating, and chaotic struggle to simply get out the door.